Day and welcome to OHS&E newsletter that gives you news updates and related OHS&E information. In this month's edition, we're going to be having a look at ergonomic awareness, workplace health, and greening, as in planting. If we have a look at the ergonomic awareness, ergonomics is the understanding and implementing of principles to enhance the workplace safety, health, and production. So basically what this means is people need to be fit for work. They need to actually understand their positions while they're working and sit comfortably, i.e. feet on the floor. If you're working with the laptop, in a seated position, making sure that you've got your eyes at the top of the screen on any of the screens that you're working on so that you're not straining your neck the whole time. There are exercises that can be done to assist people in making sure that the neck is not going forward or that we don't develop a hunchback. This is to help prevent musculoskeletal disorders or MSDs. Ergonomics Society of South Africa, or ESSA, aims to promote awareness, the benefits of the health and productivity within South Africa, and it's a professional association helping with all of these things. Also, remember that the ergonomics regulations, which were implemented in 2019 and updated in 2023, or 2024, do actually state a lot of things that we need to be doing. So it includes information, instruction, and training for all staff members. So if you've got any person that's working or repetitive work or anything like that, or just sitting at their desks, we need to actually make sure that we're training people on how to sit correctly. There's also an instruction from the duties of the affected person. So if somebody is affected in terms of what they're doing, they need to actually know the process or procedure that can actually help them on reporting things and making sure that they understand exactly where the risks are within their work that they're doing. There's also duties of the designer, manufacturer, importer, and supervisors. This means that anybody that supplies us furniture or equipment or things like that has to give us all the risks associated with that and working with that piece of equipment. We also need to ensure that ergonomic risks assessments are done and ensuring that control measures are in place, as well as doing medical surveillances and, for those that require it, medical assessments. This is done by an occupational medical practitioner or nurse, and they will actually make sure that they've got all the details and then highlight anybody that is battling in terms of that. We need to also ensure that we keep all the records related to any of the ergonomics issues that may arise out of any of the risk assessments, the control measures that we're putting into place, or the surveillance, medical surveillances and things that have been done. Ensuring that the workplace is involved is a combination of proactive strategies and continuous improvement. Here are some of the key things that we need to look at. Develop a health and safe policy, which we have done at the university. This is a comprehensive policy which outlines the organization's commitment to the health, safety, and environment, including specific goals and procedures that need to be undertaken. Conduct regular risk assessments. I cannot say this enough, because in all the stuff that is coming up these days in terms of the new regulations or regulations that have been updated and things like that, one of the big issues that are coming out is do risk assessments. And in these risk assessments, you actually need to make sure that you're identifying potential hazards as well as assessing the risks that are around while those people are working or in the environment where these people are working, and implement appropriate control measures to make sure that people are working as safely as possible. Remember using the hierarchy of controls where can it be eliminated? If not, then we need to move to the next step, which is substitution. If we can't substitute it, then we need to bring in engineering controls, and then we only start with the administration controls, so the training, the doing the risk assessments, etc., etc., etc. And then we look at implementing PPE where it is required. Providing training and resources, we obviously need to make sure that people understand the risks around the jobs that they are doing, understand what legislation says in terms of it, and giving people instructions on how they should be working so that they can be working safely. Another way that we can look at things is promoting a positive safety culture. Now, obviously, this takes a lot of time to build up, and I know that some of the areas are actually looking at this and that they can do that, but there are some of the areas where, unfortunately, this is taking a little bit of time, and it looks at the safe behaviors of people, so the unsafe acts that people are doing, and to make sure that we've actually got everything in place that we need to have in place. Then we look at implementing safe policies and protocols, making sure that that everybody is actually working as safely as possible, and that there are protocols to guide them, like safe working procedures or standard operating procedures that help people out. We also need to make sure, as part of the workplace health, that anybody that is battling with hearing, as September is the National Month of Deaf People, we need to ensure that if we are working in and around the area, that people who may be deaf are actually catered for, there's reasonable accommodation for them, and we need to ensure where we can that people are not going deaf because of the work that they're doing and the risks that they're taking, where they need to wear earplugs or earmuffs or things, that they know exactly how to do it. So again, we're going back to the training of people and the information they're given, and also you can have a look at the noise-induced regulations that have been updated in the last couple of months. And as I mentioned in the intro, greening in terms of planting in South Africa. This year, Arbour Day, or it's not going to be Arbour Day, it's going to be Arbour Week, is going to be from the 1st to the 7th of September 2025. And South Africa celebrates Arbour Week in the first week of September annually. The Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment is the custodian of this campaign. September is also Heritage Month, and the department also focuses on countries' champion trees, which include some of the oldest, largest and culturally significant trees. This includes the Sophiatown oak tree and the Sagoal baobab tree in Limpopo, which form part of our heritage. Arbour Week is an opportunity for everybody to come together to plant indigenous trees as a practical and symbolic gesture of sustaining the environment. It affords government, the private sector and non-governmental and the community to actually get involved along with the public in greening their communities, planting trees and greening human settlements taking place across the communities. And this is a drive directly from the government source on Arbour Week. So it's important that we all actually try and contribute and make sure that we're actually planting, caring, managing all the vegetation, even in the urban and in the rural areas, so that we can secure the areas for our generation, the next generation, and the next to come. Okay. I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen and watch this presentation. If there are any suggestions, comments, queries, or challenges, please share it with your OHS&E officer or any of our team members. This was a presentation presented by Joanne Zastro.